The environment already brewing inside of the Elm. Almost 4,500 spectators await a much anticipated CHSL Central Division matchup between the visiting St. Mary's Eaglets and your Detroit Catholic Central Shamrocks. We welcome you to a production of the Shamrock Media Team here on the Shamrock Media Network. From the press box at the Elm, I'm Josh Rothert, alongside the best partner in the whole business, Lucas Straish. This is Game 3 of a 7-game slate for the Shamrocks in the newly rebranded CHSL Central, which includes the addition of 3 Toledo schools. Catholic Central enters this one after writing the script in a win over Toledo St. Francis last week, 48-7.
And St. Mary's was also able to notch their first win of the season 2 weeks ago, beating St. John's Jesuit 28-7. Get ready to see the Bryson Williams show. He was a force against St. John's and De La Salle. Look for him to be an impact in the game on all 3 sides of it. Standing wise, there's a big game tonight in Toledo between Central Catholic and De La Salle for the sole lead in the division. Meanwhile, Catholic Central and OLSM both enter with 1 win and 1 loss in conference up to this point.
Yeah, and last year, of course, only a 3-game conference schedule, and CC won 2 of those 3 games, including a 31-17 win over St. Mary's, in which Bo Jackson starred in a big way. Look here at his numbers from a year ago, including 169 yards passing and 2 passing touchdowns.
Yes, and Evan Hager, of course, was also a dominating force in that game, pounding the ground and getting the come-from-behind win in the second half. Time now to take a look at the tail of the tape. CC leading the all-time series 20-14. Tonight marks the 35th all-time matchup. Of course, you mentioned that Hager tore them up last year in a 31-17 win, but that was for the 4th straight win in the series. Have to go all the way back to the playoff in 2018 for the last St. Mary's win.
Yeah, the Eaglets and the Shamrocks met for the first time back in 1994, with the Eaglets getting the victory in a 20-0 shutout over Catholic Central. And if you're going to talk CHSL football, you have to mention half of the CHSL coaching Mount Rushmore coaches, Tom Mack and George Porritt, with very storied coaching careers.
We turn to take a look at tonight's team comparison. Slight discrepancy in the defenses here, but Catholic Central showing a powerful and balanced offensive attack gives them a slight edge on that side of the ball. Catholic Central enters the week in the D-Zone 100 at number 21. St. Mary's respectively enters at number 36.
Yeah, very versatile players on both sides. A combined 8 two-way starters between the 2 teams. We mentioned Bryson Williams for St. Mary's, but keep an eye on Jaden Pyden for Catholic Central. Just a do-it-all, all-time utility player. He's going to find the ball on both ends tonight. As we turn it over to look at everyone's favorite part of the pregame show, Lucas Straish will take you through the keys to the game for both sides.
Yeah, I'll start by highlighting the 2-way talent that is Bryson Williams. Axe will have to feed him early and often for the Eaglets to have any success tonight. He's got to be a force on the offensive side. Marys will need to stay outside the hashes to avoid a Shamrock linebacking core that's been bruising so far. No returning starters from that unit, but they have looked impressive early on this year. When they look to run, the Eaglets should stay in their 3-2 personnel and let the line and ends do the work. Over on the Shamrock side, Samson Gash has stepped into the role as the playmaker for this offense. 3 total touchdowns last week. Gash should once again be a crucial cog in the offensive machine. Once Catholic Central gets into goal-to-go situations, watch for the Wildcat formation where Jaden Pyden has been so successful the last 2 years. Finally, keep an eye on the Shamrock secondary. Will be the most important factor in keeping the OLSM spread attack in check.
Yeah, and I want to kind of highlight a matchup you're going to see a lot of tonight, and that's going to be Axel Newell working with his wide receiver Bryson Williams. CC is going to stay with matchups tonight, so you're going to see a lot of Josh Rude covering Bryson Williams, who absolutely torched De La Salle in the loss last week, including a kick return touchdown. He took a screen pass to the house and then also a 98-yard touchdown from his own 2-yard line, just absolutely decimating that Pilot secondary last week. So it should be a good test for, a younger secondary here for Catholic Central than, they're used to deploying, but it should be a great matchup tonight. Also worth some notable injuries that the Shamrocks are going to be without. 2 offensive starters, honestly 2 players that have played both sides of the ball tonight. Nico Genrich breaking his collarbone last week in practice. He will be out for at least the remainder of the regular season. And Cam Lloyd, the Shamrocks starting running back, senior, off to a great start on the season, dealing with an ankle fracture, and he will miss week to week at this point. Really not sure when the timetable for return is for Lloyd, but him and Genrich will be watching from the sidelines tonight. So it'll be up to Gash to kind of take on that load of the wide receiving core. Names like Nico McBride, Andrew Kitchen, of course, scoring a touchdown last year against St. Mary's, and then for the running backs, everyone just kind of moves up one slot in the pecking order. It'll be Lee Krieger to get the looks out of the gate, and then you'll see a little bit of John Almeida mix in there as well. He scored last week against Toledo St. Francis de Sales.
Yeah, Lee Krieger looks like more of a bruising back, but he's made a couple really explosive plays. He had an impressive 40-yard run this year in week 1, and then in week 2 made a really nice catch on a pass from Jackson where he scrambled in the pocket and took it for 50 yards. And John Almeida, obviously, who's now going to be the second string, just a blazing fast 100-meter runner for the track team. We'll see how he does in that in a more featured role tonight.
Yeah, and just about 15 minutes away from kickoff here. The band getting ready to perform the alma mater and the national anthem. And the captain's meeting at midfield for the coin toss. Don't go anywhere yet. You're listening to the Shamrock Media Network. We'll be back in just a few moments for kickoff.
Eaglets have won the kickoff and have declined to the second half. Shamrocks will receive out of the north end zone. the best staff, faculty, parents, and alumni continuing the tradition. Their National Merit Scholars and state athletes are born. In game, Reach, James and Max. Where tradition meets excellence. We are the greatest high school in the world. There is no place like it. We are CC. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting under the direction of Mr. Logan Bonathan, and then on the field by Senior Drum Major Robert Minnick and Junior Drum Major Andrew Erisman, the Detroit Catholic Central High School Shamrock Marching Band. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Father Richard Elmer Memorial Stadium for tonight's Central Division contest between our guests, the Eaglets of Orchard Lake St. Mary, and your Catholic Central Shamrocks. All Catholic League schools, especially St. Mary's and Detroit Catholic Central, hope to be about both good sports and good people. We ask all spectators to please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your hats as we begin our contest with our invocation led by Catholic Central Principal Father Patrick Fulton.
On this Donor Appreciation Night, I'd like to extend a welcome to our faithful supporters, as well as a welcome to our brothers in faith from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. God, our Creator, who brings us together as your people, send your blessing on all of us here tonight. Bless our athletes in their competition. Keep everyone safe in your care. Give us your gracious Spirit, that we may respect our schools and one another, born of our sacred bond as the members of your family. We have just celebrated the feast of the triumph of the cross. Keep us ever mindful that you are with us in all our wins and losses, our joys and sorrows, and that ultimately it is your Son who is the victor, and we make our prayer through Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen. Maranatha. St. Basil the Great. Pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
We ask that you please remain standing as we join the Catholic Central High School Shamrock Marching Band and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
All right, we welcome you to the Elm. Just moments away from kickoff here, undergoing a little bit of technical difficulties up in the box with the score bug. So there might not be a scoreboard on the graphic, but we will do our best to keep you informed about the score of the game as we proceed. Just moments away from kickoff, St. Mary's won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so that means we will get a look at Bo Jackson first. And what have you seen in Bo Jackson so far these first 3 weeks?
Hasn't made a lot of mistakes, hasn't made a lot of flashy plays. He's had a couple big touchdowns, Samson Gash, Lee Krieger. I feel he's going to step up tonight and have his biggest game of the season. It's going to be tough. He's going to be missing 2 of his weapons. Nico Genrich out once again. As you mentioned, he's probably going to be out until at least the playoffs. And Cam Lloyd, will see how long that foot injury bothers him. Over on the defensive side for the Eaglets, they will be without captain Josh Janda at edge rusher, the Air Force commit. See how that impacts the Eaglet defense tonight.
Yeah, you lose one Janda, but you don't lose them both. The younger brother, Jack, who might even be taller. Pretty hard to be taller than 6'6", but Jack just might have him by an inch or two.
Just turned 16 today.
Just turned 16. Just a freak athlete family right there, the Jandas. Just the nicest people. And of course, talked to Josh before the game, and he said that this was the one game he wanted to play in the most. Just loves playing against his friends here at CC. And so we see Sam Carrick line up for the opening kickoff, the 5'10", 160-pound senior from Orchard Lake, Michigan. Back deep for the Shamrocks, John Almeida and DeAndre Green.
Student section not happy about the early delay here.
So Carrick again. The Eaglets in the white jerseys, gray numbers, red helmets and red pants, and Catholic Central in the valiant blue and peerless white. Week 4 of MHSAA football season is officially underway. It's a short kick. Krieger fielding it from just outside the 20-yard line, pushing forward to the Catholic Central 30, and we will get to see Bo Jackson in action here. And we will take a look at the Catholic Central starting offense, starting with that line. Who's been the most impressive out of that unit? Very good unit this year.
It is a very good unit, a lot of returners. I think Benny Azuka at left guard, just an athletic freak, 6'5", I believe.
Yeah, almost 300 pounds. And then you have the skill position players. Obviously, we mentioned Samson Gash out wide, and Lee Krieger will get the nod to start at running back. Shamrock start with 4 receivers. Casper Moyer in there as they go to the wing T to start this one. Jackson giving it to Jaden Pyden, and Pyden with a very short gain, if that, brought down on the play by Trey Goike.
Yeah, St. Mary's was not fooled by that early motion and that was something that worked against Dearborn. They were able to run it pretty successfully against that team, but we'll see if St. Mary's is going to key in on that. And if that's the case, Bo's going to have a lot of openings on the outside.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the junior quarterback in week 1 against Dearborn, really hitting his passes, pinpoint accuracy, a little bit on the unlucky side when it came to drops in the early going, but he was able to settle in and find his rhythm, and there's Krieger barreling forward past the 35 to the 36. It's a pickup of 6 for Krieger. And when you talk about athletes, the Krieger family definitely has a long line of those. Obviously the son of famed football player and wrestling, individual state champ. And Krieger, of course, also on that state championship wrestling team from last year. And so we have a 3rd down and 3 in the early going. In motion is Pyden. He's getting a lot of snaps in the early going of these games. Jackson looking right, stepping up, firing, and it is overthrown. Intended for Gash, the speedster of the Shamrocks offense, and it'll be 3 and out for the blue and white on the first drive of the game.
It's a play Bo's got to make. You got a guy like Gash open in the middle of the field with the speed he has. He could be able to turn that into some more yards, but he's not a really big guy. So you got to put it on the numbers. Early miscue. Shamrocks will be forced to punt.
And so Ewing will punt. He took over the starting job last year in week 2 against Davison, and he has held his ground ever since, doubling as the punter and as a starting middle linebacker on this defense. Bryson Williams, a dangerous returner, is back deep, calls for the fair catch and makes it at the 28-yard line. It's a short punt, only about 35 yards for Ewing.
It was a great job by the coverage team, though, to get out there. And even though it was a line drive punt, which usually returners can use to their advantage, that Shamrock, those gunners got out there and caged in Williams, forced him to make a fair catch. So Marys will start at the 29-yard line, very similar to Catholic Central's starting field position on the other side of the field.
And they're going to start, you know, we mentioned this 32 personnel. They go with a lot of 2 tight end, 3 running back set. And the first give of the game is to Armin Rollins. Or, excuse me, Kamari Patterson on the carry, 14. Ewing in there on the stop. As we take a look at the Eaglets starting offense, of course, you have Armin Rollins in the backfield alongside the wide receivers. Bryson Williams obviously going to get a lot of work, and then there's obviously Zane Wilson out there as well.
The key is going to be if Axel at quarterback is going to be able to get it to his playmakers on the outside.
And Newell gives again to Patterson. Patterson pushing forward, lowering the shoulder and picking up a few more yards. Stopped about 4 yards shy of the first down, and it'll be third down for St. Mary's.
It was a good job by the linebackers there for Catholic Central. The defensive line really got beat by the O-line at the first moment, but that second line was able to contain Patterson there, hold him to a gain of 1.
9:30 to go here in this first quarter. We appreciate you for your patience as we got the score bug fixed. The information should be all updated and should be smooth to go for the remainder of the game. It's third down. Handoff is to, ball is on the ground. Goike lost it, and I think the Shamrocks have it. I think Ewing got on the ball. It's Krieger who comes out of the pile with it, and it's an early turnover on third down. Goike coughed it up, and Krieger comes up with the recovery, and the Shamrocks set up with great field position here to start their second drive of the game.
And that's what this defense loves to be, is opportunistic, taking advantage of any time they can take great field position away from their opponent. And now Bo Jackson and crew will start at the Eaglet 33. This has got to be points. Got to be points. You got to get out to an early start against a division rival.
McBride is at the top of the screen. In the slot is Pyden with Gash nearest to Jackson. Here comes Pyden in motion. They fake the give both times. Major holding downfield, doesn't matter. Gash is open, and he's got it. Incomplete, knocked away at the final second. Got away with the holding call in the secondary there, and a good ball from Bo Jackson, but Gash not able to haul it in, and it'll be second down.
Something interesting I've seen is the Shamrock team is really stuck with the same position group this entire time on offense. Granted, it's only been 5 or 6 plays, but it's been Gash and McBride out wide, Pyden kind of rotating at tight end, fullback, running back position, Rogowski at tight end, and obviously the O-line and quarterback staying the same.
And then Pyden in that rover role, and obviously injuries are going to limit the flexibility of the offense, but this is definitely the strongest unit CC can put out on the field right now. As Jackson will keep it, we don't see him run very often, and he is swarmed on the play. Kareem Pruitt in on the stop, and Jackson able to get a nice chunk on second down, make this more manageable for third down.
As you mentioned, last year, Jackson was not a runner at all. I mean, I think he ended the year with negative rushing yards. He's more of a pocket passer, but it's not the first time we've seen this year where he's roamed outside the hash marks and taken it himself. Here, once again, we got press coverage on the CC wideouts, and the safeties are playing in, fearful of that rushing attack.
Jackson in the pistol, 2 running backs. It's a give to Krieger, and he stumbles forward, but he's going to be 2 yards shy of the first down. As we can now take a look at the Eaglets starting defense. You know, obviously Janda missing today, so it's Aiden Donovan in there on the edge for the Eaglets alongside Jack Bardis, Giannis Didaj, and Jack Janda, the younger Janda brother. And then that linebacking group between Charles White, Armin Rollins, and Kamari Patterson. We saw Patterson get some work in the early going. Under center here is Pyden in the Wildcat. Fakes it to Gash, keeps it. Pyden turning upfield, and he finds a seam and picks up the first down.
I mean, over the last 2 years, whenever we've seen Pyden in that Wildcat, it's almost been a guaranteed 4 or 5 yards out of that. We've seen him bust it for longer.
And then the secondary of the Eaglets, Bryson Williams, obviously just a true example of a five-tool player. You'll see him field kicks and punts. And now Pyden on the Wildcat keeper again. Not much room. Pushed out of bounds by Darren Jones. And that will bring Jackson back in the game for second down. So Pyden able to pick up 3. He's had 3 carries in the early going. Obviously using a lot of short yardage scenarios, of course. And they're going to go here with 3 wide receivers.
It's like Cedric Williams and at running back. Didn't see a lot of him.
He did score a touchdown last week, and Williams breaking off a big one here in the early going all the way down to the 4-yard line. Williams able to pick up 12 on his first snap.
Again, we didn't see him at all in the Dearborn game, but he came in late in that St. Francis game last week and scored Catholic Central's last touchdown of the game. Probably going to see him more with the injuries to Cam Lloyd.
Maybe him and Almeida. We saw Almeida in that Dearborn game, and he also did score a touchdown against St. Francis. And again in the Wildcat, or no, excuse me, the wing T, Jackson is under center. Rogowski, Pyden, and Krieger, the 3 backs.
I think this is going to go to Pyden.
They give us to Krieger. Krieger sidesteps, able to shift forward, picks up 3 yards. In between the 1 and the 2-yard line, they'll mark him just at the 2. So this goal line defense of St. Mary's definitely been in middle of the pack defense this year. Jackson turns. Delayed give to Krieger. Is he able to cross the plane? I don't think so. And it's going to be just about a half-yard short, full yard short even.
Yeah, not a lot of push from the O-line on those 2 plays. Krieger's just not had a lot of room.
And this substitution group has stayed in here all 3 snaps, and they're going to go for it a 3rd time. Jackson on the quarterback sneak. Flag is thrown. Jackson crosses the plane, but momentarily we have a flag.
It's like they're calling an illegal shift.
And that will bring them back 5 yards. So the quick huddle does not pay dividends here. Halfway through the first quarter, Catholic Central will commit their first penalty of the game and push them back to about the 7-yard line.
Got to be so careful of that when you're trying to get into that hurry-up offense. It can work against you. So now on 3rd and 7, looks like we're going to have.
There's Andrew Kitchen checking in for the first time. They're going to go wide here. Krieger's the lone back. Pyden the tight end in the slot. Kitchen at the top. Gash and Coates at the bottom is the lineup to watch. Jackson from the blind side. Ooh. He never saw it coming. It was Chase Arnold coming off the edge and delivering a huge hit on Jackson.
And Arnold the freshman. Arnold the freshman, who has not been playing much, but with that Janda injury, he's getting really his first action of the season, and he makes the most of it.
That's some immense size right there. There is a flag thrown that they have waved off. Maybe trying to protect the quarterback there, but a legal hit just from the blind side. Never saw it coming. Nobody really picked up Arnold off the edge. And so we'll get to see Jake Mategan for the first time tonight. Rated 4.5-star kicker on Corn Blue Kicking. Mategan has hit from as long as 41 in-game, but we've seen him hit from around 50 yards in training camp outside. 32-yard attempt for Mategan. Snap is good, hold good. Mategan's kick from 32 yards, and CC draws first blood at the Elm. Mategan's 32-yard field goal attempt giving the Shamrocks a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, pretty good job there by the St. Mary's defense. Obviously, the offense put them in a tough position as the Shamrocks had it at the 33, but that Eaglet defense not only able to keep them out of the end zone, but at a point where it was 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, able to make it all the way into a 32-yard field goal. Great job by Mategan to put it through the irons.
Yeah, that penalty kind of helped St. Mary's out, and then they're able to take that penalty and create a sack and then force the field goal. Great defensive possession from St. Mary's. Only seen one passing attempt from Bo Jackson as CC has looked to establish the run to start this one. Obviously a big topic of discussion this week throughout the school was the theme for the game, as it is flipped from white out to spirit out to camo. Coach Wiggins with a mention on Twitter that it was blue out. That was quickly turned down. Just a lot of confusion. So you have a mix tonight. Really no theme. You got some white, some black, some blue, some camo, some ghillie suit even. Robert Davies rocking the ghillie suit. Ben Asmussen was supposed to buy a ghillie suit. I haven't seen him, but student leaders just do an excellent job, of course. Across the way, St. Mary's section rocking a neon theme tonight.
I believe I saw Batman on the Shamrock sideline as well.
And so Matigan to boot it deep. And he's going to kick this one short, not wanting to kick to Williams. And Patterson will take it, finds a little bit of space, pushes off his own guy, and John Almeida. And looks like maybe Nico McBride in there. Slew of defenders in there to make the tackle, and St. Mary's will start from their own 31-yard line.
Pretty similar to return to Catholic Central's first one, where it was kicked away to the up back, returned it around the 30-yard line.
Well, yeah, when you have two monster returners such as Samson Gash and Bryson Williams, really no benefit to kick it deep. And so here's the spread offense of St. Mary's. You're going to see the wide receivers far out on the boundary as Armin Rollins gets his first carry of the game. And he's able to pick up a yard before being stopped by Rogowski. As we take a look at the St. Mary's starting offense. Pretty veteran, experienced offensive line right there with Barron in at center. It's Whitey and Johnson out on the tackles. And then wide receiver, obviously we circled Bryson Williams' name a million times before this game. And then Axel Newell checks and throws and delivers a strike over the middle of the field. And that pass is caught by Savory, the tight end, out of Canton, Michigan, went to Pioneer Middle School. Fantastic two-way basketball player. Of course, kind of fell under the MHSAA sanctions last season and was very limited in what he could do. And of course, St. Mary's head coach Covert, all sorts of comments. Just a very interesting season last year for the Eaglets basketball team, as Newell checks and throws again, and he's got Bryson Williams for the first time tonight. And he breaks a tackle and is able to pick up 7 or 8 yards. St. Mary's into Catholic Central territory on just their second play of the drive. Third play of the drive.
You mentioned that St. Mary's basketball had a disappointing regular season, and then in the playoffs just found a different gear, made it all the way to the Final Four in the D1 bracket.
Yeah, Trey McKenney, just a one-of-a-kind athlete over there. CHSL, just the toughest division for sports, as here's a handoff to Rollins, who is swarmed in the backfield. That middle line, that front seven, man, just deadly group there. Rutherford, Cheney, and Ewing all in there in the backfield, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Newell in the gun. Looks towards the sideline. Williams is lined up in the slot. Takes the snap, looks left, throws short, and never on the same page with Savory there. That's rude in coverage, and they're able to force the 4th down stop. A look at that Catholic Central defense. Stone Cheney, just an excellent start to this season. 4 sacks in 3 games for Cheney, including a sack in each of the first 3 games. And then you have Rogowski, of course, on the other end. He's been a fierce run stopper and run blocker on the offensive side. And then manning the middle, Aiden Quinn, Kyle Ewing, and Lee Krieger. Tenacious linebacking group, and then you finish up with the secondary. Jaden Pyden, of course, fantastic safety. And then Cheney, Rude. You'll even see some of Austin Kersey tonight as this punt is booted to the right side short. But it will take an Eaglets roll out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. And so the punt is good for about a 30-yard punt.
Got to be a crucial drive for the Shamrocks. That first one, they went 3 and out. The second one, they had good field position, but just weren't able to get into the end zone. So I feel a long drive, 10 plays down and scoring a touchdown will really demoralize this Eaglet team.
Yeah, they established the run early, going 9 of their first 10 plays, of course, coming on the ground. Pyden leading the way with 4 of those carries. But Krieger will start as the featured back to start this drive. Gash down at the bottom of the screen, McBride at the top. Jackson takes the snap and gives to Krieger. Krieger bouncing off his tackle and able to get to the 25-yard line before he's tackled by Chris Dettori. Strong safety coming out of St. Pat's. And really, it's kind of been a story of the game script for Bo Jackson. Obviously, has been very limited with his throws. Weeks 1 and 3 when Catholic Central has had big leads. As DeAndre Green into the backfield here. Jackson, quick throw, and Gash tightly covered there. That was Duke Coates.
Yeah, Coates just had him blanketed the whole time, and Jackson really no opportunity to get that to Gash. This is the second time he's overthrown it, but that one I wouldn't put on him. That's a great play by the corner.
Yeah. 2:03 to play in the opening quarter here at the Elm. And so 3rd and 5 from their own 25-yard line. They'll go with a 3 wide receiver look. St. Mary's scrambling on defense. Jackson in the gun, and you're going to have pre-snap movement here. Pyden moved early. And that'll move him back 5, so second penalty here on 3rd down. Shamrocks cannot afford that one again.
Now 3rd and 10. Remember, I was watching the Thursday night game, and there were more than one time where 3rd and 5 turned into a 3rd and 10, and that's just one of the worst penalties you can have.
Jackson throwing a deep ball. Gash is open down the sideline. A pass is nearly intercepted by Christopher Cotes. Gash getting all 3 of Jackson's first targets and unable to come up with them. Very contested. They have keyed in on Gash to start this one. And just like you mentioned it, how they could really demoralize this Eaglets defense, they're going to find themselves on the sideline. It's another 3 and out for the Shamrocks.
It's a dangerous position to be with Bryson Williams hanging around that 50-yard line, though now a second return will be there for the Eaglets.
They're going to put 2 returners back there. Ewing, high snap, has to gather it and is able to get this one off, and he kicks it away, and that is Coates on the return, turning upfield, breaking a tackle, and is swarmed. A net punt of only 9 yards as Duke Coates is able to get to the 29-yard line, and now it'll be the Shamrock defense having to play stoutly at their own end, backed up against the wall. First down give is to Patterson. Pushed out of bounds. Rude in on the tackle. But a nice chunk gain there, about 5-6 yards. St. Mary's kind of a more rushing focused attack to start this one out. But, you know, they will get creative. They will get some slant balls going, kind of RPO, kind of draw the defense in and then throw quick passes. They are a very spread team or they're a very condensed team. Really no in between. They're going to either stay with this 32 personnel in the wishbone as they give here to Rollins. Nice tackle by Pyden. He led the team last week in tackles with 7 solo tackles. Also leads the team on the season with 28 tackles entering tonight. And, of course, Pyden getting that Defensive Player of the Week awarded by the coaching staff.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen any Bryson Williams targets so far. As you mentioned, Marys has really stayed in this tight offense, running the ball on all but one play so far.
This time it's Carmari Patterson, and he has very little running room on 3rd and 1, but he is able to find the 3 feet he needs to pick up that first down. And they will move the chains. Quinn there to stop him. but not before he picks up the first down. So checking in for the Eaglets, Darren Jones.
We've seen a lot of different running backs cycle in on that team so far. 3 or 4 guys have carries so far.
And Goike only the one on the fumble. And they stick with this wishbone here. Newell under center. The give is to the up man. That is Rollins. Very minimal gain. The tackles in there on the stop. That's Zane Baydoun and Gubernich in on the stop. I'll give him no gain.
And Gubernich has played really well in that defensive tackle role. We saw him a lot last year. A little more rotational than he was this year, but so far he's the man on the inside on that defense. He's played well.
And so the Eaglets will not snap it again before the end of the first quarter. So Catholic Central's Jake Mategan's 32-yard field goal is the only score through one here at the Elm. Back in just a minute for second quarter action. You're listening or watching to the Shamrock Media Network.
They will end up not to engage blue lines also.
And the start of the second quarter, we'll see St. Mary's just picked up that first down before. It'll be second down and 8. They flip sides of the field now, so they're going towards the south end zone, and they're going to start in the set that they've ran the most of the game. It's the wishbone. Newell turns and hands off. And this time it is Leo Wilson, the shortest player on the roster, just 5'3". I mean, that's Deuce Vaughn right there, but
That is Deuce Vaughn.
hey, good comparison for Wilson if that means playing for the Cowboys in the NFL. And so with a third and medium here, Mary's is going to call on the spread team here. Now, pay attention to the wide receivers. They're going to wind up well wide of the numbers here. Well, they're going to stay with this wishbone with 2 receivers. Newell the give, and Wilson is swarmed. You just can't run up the middle consistently on this front 7.
And I'm really surprised that's the play call there. I mean, you got a guy like Bryson Williams, so athletic, out wide, big guy and fast. Surprised he hasn't seen the target so far, 13 minutes into this one.
Yeah, and with Lloyd being sidelined, they've kind of rovered Pyden into that role that Lloyd played as that kind of star player that rovers between the safety and the linebacking position. And, you know, Pyden doing a fantastic job. Already a handful of tackles tonight. And 4th and 6, instead of matching Metegan's 32-yard field goal here, Mary's is going to keep the offense on the field. And they're going to keep this wishbone. Williams lined up wide. That's Krieger on him, but they're going to double team him. Fade ball, opposite side for Wilson. It is incomplete. Wilson couldn't complete the catch. River Cheney on coverage, and it's a turnover on downs.
That was an amazing catch from Wilson. Just wasn't able to get that 1 foot down.
And even a great throw from Axel Newell. Throw that over the back shoulder of Cheney, and just a little bit too far, let him a little bit too much. And good coverage by Cheney, of course.
Yeah, I think the Shamrocks were a little surprised on that one. They were probably expecting a throw over to the Bryson Williams side. So it was really one-on-one coverage there. Great job by Wilson to beat his man, but just wasn't able to catch it quite soon enough. Shamrocks will start at their own 15. Just haven't been able to move the ball so far.
And they're going to start here. No bow. We're going to start with this Wildcat set. It's Krieger next to Pyden, who lines up in the shotgun behind the center. Taking the snap. Direct snap. Keeper Pyden muscling forward. And up past the 20-yard line. It's a gain of 5 for Pyden. He has been the primary beneficiary of Cam Lloyd's injury up to this point.
It's interesting that we haven't seen a lot of bow so far.
Yeah, no completions up to this point at the 10-minute mark of the second quarter, and they're going to keep Bo on the sideline here. Well, you can't ever count Pyden throwing the ball out. He did start as a freshman as the quarterback on the freshman team. So he does still have that, and he's also a outstanding baseball player for the varsity baseball team, as Pyden tripped here on his own footing possibly. So you could say Jack Jana in there on the stop as well. And so Catholic Central have been faced with multiple third downs. They have yet to convert on one, 0 for 4 in the early going.
I feel like the way that they've been running these Wildcats is putting Bo in a bad position, because he's only been coming in on third downs, right here, 3rd and 5. Last time he had gotten bumped back on penalty, 3rd and 10.
It's a trips bunch that early pre-snap movement, no call. Jackson hit as he threw. The ball comes out, and they are going to rule that his arm was moving forward. And it looks like the dodge, and I think it was Arnold again delivering the combined hit there. Jackson able to get rid of the ball, but it's another punt for the Shamrocks.
Have not been able to run the ball effectively under 4 yards of carry so far, or throw it. I mean, no completions yet for anybody on this Shamrock team. Only 4 passing attempts.
And so St. Mary's will stick with this 2 returning team, as it worked well. Last time Coates was able to muster off of around a 20-yard return. Some late substitution here. That's Drake Willard running on the field. Ewing on the punt, and it is blocked. And it's recovered in the end zone for a touchdown. Vincent Lazar on the recovery. Couldn't see who came around the edge to block that. Can we get an instant replay on that? I think it was Donovan possibly off the edge.
Yeah, and that's a crucial play in this game where neither offense has been able to really do anything.
Yeah, that's Donovan, Michigan State baseball commit, collapsing hard off the edge, and it was Vincent Lazare on the recovery. And of course, you're doing good if you can win 2 out of 3 sides of this game, and the special teams advantage is early to St. Mary's. Extra point by Carrick, up and good, and St. Mary's has their first lead of the game. They lead at 7-3, and now a chance for us to take a look at last year's game. Last year, of course, Evan Hager running for 148 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bo Jackson, $169 and 2 scores. 1 to Blakita and 1 to Andrew Kitchen late in the game that put the Eaglets away for good. Of course, the Eaglets trying to use trickery to catch the Shamrocks off guard, but the Shamrocks would prevail and win at 31-17 on that red turf in Orchard Lake.
Aiden Donovan really just turned the momentum of this game. I mean, St. Mary's only has 43 yards of offense. Their only real threat was off a really good punt return from Duke Coates. Sorry, but man, that just switches the entire game up. Now the Shamrocks, who have had all the opportunity to take a hold of this game, now find themselves trailing early on in the second quarter.
They will get a complete reset here after the failed punt last drive. It'll be interesting to see how they deploy their formations, as the Wildcat formation just has not proven all that successful this far.
I think it's a great formation for inside the 10, maybe inside the 20, but I think using it on your first 2 downs just does not put your quarterback in a great situation, especially you saw St. Mary's blitz 6 on that play. Just not going to cut it. I think you got to unleash Bo a little bit here.
So Carrick's kick will go deep, and it's taken by Gash. Gash cuts upfield, but a short return for his standards. He's out to the 27-yard line, and Bo is in the huddle here to go out for the offense. So it looks like we're going to see a more traditional approach from the coaching staff. Of course, head coach Justin Sasate in his first season as head coach here at Catholic Central, and his storied staff of ex-college players, ex-NFL players, just a lot of talent on this staff, and they're off to a 2-1 start this season. Their only loss coming to last year's Division II Ohio State champions of Central Catholic. And so Bo under center. Krieger is the running back. And the first down snap is a give to Krieger, who is upended instantly in the backfield. It's like Dadaj and Ryan Fresquiz in the backfield as well.
And obviously, Catholic Central, in that first home game, just ran the ball down Dearborn's throat. I mean, they didn't really have to throw the ball at all. Had some nice plays, but it was really a game for Cam Lloyd and Lee Krieger. You could see St. Mary took some tape on that, and they are stuffing the box, 7 guys every time, focusing in on Krieger, Pyden, whoever tries to carry the ball.
I mean, their furthest defensive player from the line of scrimmage is only about 7 yards downfield, so that is why they've tried to mobilize Gash, and they're going to look his way again. Instead, throwing for McBride, and that pass was nearly intercepted. Just a poor decision on Bo's part there into double coverage.
It was the first time he targeted someone other than Samson Gash, and that one he probably should have targeted Samson Gash. Had one-on-one press coverage on the bottom of the screen, and he looked like he beat his man. Not a lot of corners who can stride with him one-on-one.
And DeTore was in there on the breakup. Of course, Williams is going to range deep here, but the problem with Gash is he's on the far side of the field, so this is a far throw for Jackson. And it's 3rd down and 11, under center, motioning Pyden. Jackson takes the snap. They're going to go play action. Jackson rolling out right, being chased out wide by Donovan. The pass is nearly intercepted, as Jackson has just not been able to find his rhythm. That was Christopher Coates that is going to get credit with the pass breakup. Donovan again running wild after the quarterback, and the punt unit making another trip. It's another 3-and-out for the Shamrocks.
And Donovan's usually not the starter on that D-line. As you mentioned, Josh Janda out with a concussion, and Donovan has really stepped up in a big way. He had the punt block and a couple pressures there.
Yeah, so obviously the offensive line and the wide receivers and Bo got to figure this out. 0 for 6 to start the game, Bo Jackson, as we're going to have our first timeout of the game. It'll give us time to take a look at some of the statistics up to this point. Catholic Central, just 45 total yards, all of them, of course, coming on the ground. Jaden Pyden leading the team with 15 rush yards. Krieger, 6 carries for 13, and, of course, Gash, the beneficiary of 4 of the 6 Jackson passes, but no catches for that Shamrocks team. And then on the flip side, St. Mary's, Cormari Patterson, Armin Rollins. We've seen Leo Wilson, really kind of just a slew of, Orchard Lake running backs, but only 19 rushing yards for them. And then, of course, Newell, 2 for 4 to start this one. He's got 22 passing yards.
Been a big defensive game so far.
Yeah.
Under 100 yards combined between the two squads.
This is the old Smash Mouth CHL. We mentioned the first ever meeting between these two teams. St. Mary's shut out Catholic Central 20-0. Of course, you had that playoff game 5 years ago. It was 14-7. St. Mary's was able to win that one. And just has been the story of this game as well. Ewing a little bit further back. Donovan kind of getting close again. This time it's Duke Coates again from the 38-yard line. And he's going to be tackled after a short gain. That's a good punt from Ewing. It'll go for around 35 yards. Return of 2 for Coates. And the Shamrock defense will get another try, and they have been pretty lights out to start this one, only allowing 41 total yards through 3 possessions.
And obviously it wasn't their doing for that touchdown, as that was on the special teams, but this defense has really not had a lot of opportunities. Hasn't, I mean, St. Mary's had pretty good field position every time they've touched the ball.
And jet sweep for Coates on first down, able to pick up about half of that 10 yards. And we'll get a nice chunk to set them up for second down here from their own 44-yard line. Going with a little bit of a different look there. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and a lone back as Coates checks into the game at the running back position. Quick pass on the curl is caught by Zane Wilson, and that's a first down.
I mean, that's the way the secondary has been playing for Catholic Central. Not a lot has opened up on the outside, and they haven't looked downfield too many times. But those short routes on the outside, that's what they love to run, those curls, hitches, screens.
This is really how St. Mary's thrived, is that spread offense. Coates is swarmed. That's Gubernich, the younger brother of Central Michigan football player Bruno, making his own name as a defensive tackle in a Shamrock uniform.
And we'll take a quick look at the replay. He just busted right through the middle between the center and the right guard. Really no chance for any play there from St. Mary's.
Almost unblocked. I mean, just dominant. And it's a loss of 5. And a screen pass here. Williams was behind him, and he lowers his shoulder and actually barrels forward. Picks up most of the yardage on the previous play, but they're only going to give him 4 yards. So Williams' second catch, as Catholic Central really held him in check so far tonight. Only 2 passes thrown his way.
Yeah, pretty impressive that he was able to get past the line of scrimmage. As you said, that wasn't a great ball from Norwell, but just showing his athleticism, able to gain 6 yards after the catch.
Newell in the gun, looking, throwing long. Williams is going to be overthrown as they've really kind of shadowed him. I like what they've done with Pyden. He's kind of played either a rover role as a linebacker, but also kind of watching the boundary, and they've really kind of taken away that go ball to Williams. And I think that's where De La Salle really got into trouble last week, is kind of just leaving Williams in one-on-one, and he can win that 50-50 ball, and then as soon as he comes down with it, he's gone. I mean, it's just a foot race to the end zone.
He had one 60, 70-yard touchdown where he was just covered man-on-man on the left side and caught the ball, broke a tackle, and took it all the way untouched after that. So great job so far by the defensive coordinating from Catholic Central, just not allowing a lot of one-on-one matchups for him. He's kept him in check, only 4 yards receiving.
So before the punt for St. Mary's, we have a penalty here. And so that'll move him back 5 yards, and Gash, of course, is back deep, so it'll be interesting to see how St. Mary's pitches it to Gash. Snap, punt, steady punt. Gash will signal a fair catch and make the catch at the 25-yard line. It's a punt for 29 yards, and hopefully it can kickstart this Catholic Central offense that has been somewhat very slow to start this one.
Somewhat very slow is a pretty nice way to put it. It's not been a great showing for this team so far, but I mean, obviously you still got Bo, who's still relatively young, only early on in his junior year. And I think it's going to be a good thing for Sasante to just show confidence, keep sending him out there. I think those Wildcat formations just aren't doing a lot for his mojo right now.
And so the running back, the only one who has had a gain of more than 5 yards is Cedric Williams, and he is going to start the game, or start the drive as the feature back, and he's able to pick up a nice gain of 4 yards on the play. There's Dadaj in there on the stop. A little bit under halfway to play in the second quarter. Of course, both teams' lone scores in this game have come off the beneficiary of turnovers. Of course, Catholic Central getting a short field thanks to the Goike fumble in the first, and then St. Mary's returning the favor with the Aiden Donovan blocked punt in the end zone. And so second down for Bo. Snap and the give to Williams again, and he spins around a defender. Fresquez in there to stop him short of the line to gain. And it's going to be third down and 4. Catholic Central 0 for 5 on third down in this one.
Third down is arguably the most important facet of the game for a quarterback. Because if you have a quarterback who can get you down the field on some big plays but just can't convert on third down, they're not going to be a consistent quarterback for you. So this is where Bo needs to thrive, is on these third and medium, third and short plays.
They'll motion Williams out wide. Bo looking, screen pass for Rogowski, makes the catch, and is able to pick up the first down. Great play design. Jack Janda, 188, tackling the other 88, both products of St. Michael's. And it moves the chains. Shamrock's getting much needed first down, and they're going to go hurry up here. Williams not able to get back to the line to gain.
Back to that last play. I think if Jack Janda didn't get the tackle there, Rogowski had at least 20 yards. He had a couple of linemen in front of him. And he's a hard man to bring down. Obviously played left tackle for the Shamrocks last year.
Yeah, and he kind of shares that him and Pyden really the two players that have like really special roles when you really break down their position. You know, Rogowski obviously has been used as a pass catcher, making his 4th reception of the season right there, including a touchdown. But, you know, he's kind of a 6th lineman out there. Almost fits the body of an NFL-sized tight end. You know, your Darren Wallers and your Travis Kelce's. But, you know, he's really been that 6th blocker out there when they need him. And then, obviously, also making that switch to tight end, he's had a little more versatility catching the football. So they're going to go bunch trip set at the top of the screen. Fake the bubble screen, go and go route. Pass is caught. It's Jaden Pyden, and it is a Catholic Central touchdown. 56 yards to the house. And the Shamrocks reclaim the lead.
And on that last play, it looks like the Shamrocks got an offside when they went hurry up, so that was really 1st and 5 there, and they took full advantage of that. An air attack that had been pretty much dead up to that point came through for a big touchdown.
And so Bo Jackson's first completion of the game gets the first down to Rogowski, and then the second completion of the game. Perfect execution. You're going to see at the top of the screen this fake bubble screen to McBride, and it just sells the boundary corner, and Pyden only has to beat DeTore, the safety, and he is gone.
Great play design there.
Mategan's extra point is blocked. And that is St. Mary's again on the special team. So we have the very rare score of 9-7.
They're +8 on special teams right now.
That is a very crucial facet of the game. Always underrated, but that'll either make or break your game. I mean, just what an outstanding season from Pyden thus far. He can throw the ball if you want him to, but he can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He can go get the ball on defense, and just an outstanding safety, linebacker. I mean, just a true example of a versatile athlete. Just wonderful play design on that touchdown as well.
And obviously, you expect a guy who's your wildcat and goal to go situations to be more of like a physical guy, not as quick, but he showed off the Jets on that play.
And so, of course, that was able to kickstart the offense, which is what we were hoping for. Obviously, Jackson struggling to complete a pass before that drive. And now 3:35 to play in the first half. Catholic Central reclaiming the lead. Now St. Mary's will get a chance to run an extended 2-minute drill. They'll get an additional minute 35. But their last drive, they did a good job mixing up between their wishbone and their spread offense. And of course, faltering thanks to a penalty and a negative play.
And this offense has not produced any points so far for St. Mary's. So we'll see what Axel Norrell and this Eaglet offense will do on this possession.
Matigan is going to kick it short, but before we have the kick, we have an offsides.
Don't see that very often. We'll have to kick from the 35.
Just too fast.
I think I realized that was a dead ball penalty on the kickoff. I feel like if I was St. Mary's, I would have wanted to play it out and to see what happened.
It doesn't look like Catholic Central has any intention of letting Bryson Williams get a ball in open space.
He's standing at the 20-yard line. He wants every opportunity he can. This might be an might be a point where you just want Matigan to try to kick it through the end zone if he can get it there. Obviously farther back after the penalty.
He did have a touchback in week 1 against Dearborn, but they're just going to go for the short kick, and the fair catch is called for Kamari Patterson, who we haven't really seen after he started the game at running back. And so St. Mary's, Newell giving on first down, tripped up instantly. Looks like it was another different ball carrier. That one's Darren Jones, the 7th Eaglet to get a carry tonight. Excuse me, the 8th Eaglet to get a carry tonight.
And I think if there's any standout from this game so far, it's got to be this front 7 of the Shamrocks.
Just 1.3 yards per carry. Bubble screen thrown behind. And Coates is able to swim around 2 defenders. Brought down on the play by Ewing. And it's going to bring up 3rd and short.
It's a nice job by Coates to extend that play, but really shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. As he's wide open on a screen, usually that should lead to at least a first down.
Newell hasn't really been. I mean, he's been accurate, but he hasn't really been putting it.
Be 3rd down.
It's a give to. Hey, sure, the refs are going to give him the first down. They're going to ask for a measurement. Now they're going to motion for the first down. It was Darren Jones again, the ball carrier.
Yeah, it didn't look like he got back there.
Front 7 is held pretty strong tonight. Approaching 2 minutes to play in this first half. St. Mary's initiating their hurry-up offense. High snap. Newell puts it on the ground, gives it, and breaking a tackle or 2. And still pushing forward is Darren Jones. Looks like St. Mary's has found the running back they want to stick with here, as he has the longest play of the game for St. Mary's. It's a pickup of 16.
Yeah, really nice play there from him. Not touched until he's a few yards past the line of scrimmage. Just shows off the speed and the physicality on that bruising run.
And he'll stay in the backfield here. It's a jet sweep. Bryson Williams. Man, they really have an eye on him. Really nobody leaving any room for Williams to get open.
A nice play by Cheney to set the edge on that end around and not allow anything. It'll be 2nd and 1. 2nd and 9, sorry, 1 yard gain.
Takes the snap, looking short, and that pass never had a chance as the pressure came from both Cheney and Rogowski. That's Jack Janda, the tight end. sophomore. Happy birthday, Jack Chanda, turning the great 16 years old today.
He was wide open in the flat there. Would have been a first down and maybe more, and Newell's just got to put it on the numbers. Not the first time he's done that tonight.
And so it's Axel in the shotgun. Four receivers, high snap, Cheney chasing, and it's going to be Catholic Central football courtesy of Kale Rakowski.
Yeah, the second fumble from the Eaglets in this first half. Shamrocks are going to have great field position at midfield.
And just a costly miscue as Orchard Lake St. Mary's finally finding some rhythm, and of course Cheney kind of eliminating Newell from that play, and then Rakowski diving in from the bottom and getting the ball, and Catholic Central line up at midfield.
It almost looked like they were trying to go a little quicker than they had before on that play. It just did not work out. The center was not ready.
And so Bo Jackson will get to run his own version of a 2-minute drill. This one a little bit shortened. Only a minute, 10 seconds left to play in the first half. They're going to go trips to the top of the screen, but the most important player on the field is Gash at the bottom. Beats this guy, but they're going to go slip screen here. Krieger with some space, running down the right sideline and able to get farther into St. Mary's territory, pushed out of bounds at the 32-yard line. The second reception of the season for Krieger. It's a pickup of 18 yards.
Yeah, the second time they've gone to that little slip screen, and it's worked out. First time it was to Rogowski for the third down conversion, and there Krieger, the 20-yard gain.
And so they're going to stay at the same formation. Catholic Central really getting comfortable now in this offense after a slow start. Jackson looking far sideline, throwing up for McBride. Juggling catch. Did he come down with it? He did not. Duke Coates over there on the far side in coverage along with Kamari Patterson.
McBride trying to plead his case, but just wasn't able to control it in time.
Yeah, that's Coates in coverage. Getting a little handsy, but McBride is... I don't know about that.
It's a circus play from him, and he might have gotten that left leg down.
Yeah, looking over here, I mean. So it's 2nd and 10. Jackson in the shotgun once again. Pressure coming in his face and throws it short. Intended target is Krieger, and that's a big body coming in there. Dejon Edwards. Excuse me. Antonio Johnson, just over 300 pounds. And he's that veteran tackle we were talking about earlier. And so 3rd down and 10 now. This has been Catholic Central's kryptonite tonight. 51 seconds to play. Still 4 receivers. That's Pyden in the slot next to Jackson. And, I mean, just the cadence has been misconstrued.
That's his second false start today. They've, on this possession, been staying with those trips on the left side. Now, really making it tough on them. It'll be 3rd and 15.
So if you can't get the first down here, you at least want to put yourself in position to make this a more manageable field goal try. I'd imagine that St. Mary's will be quick to pull out the timeout here and try and push this down the field. But
yeah, and I think anywhere outside the 30-yard line, they're going to be trying to go for it. Inside the 30, it might be a tougher
steps
decision.
up in the pocket and is sacked again. Aiden Donovan, actually they're going to give him about a yard gain here on the play, and the clock will continue to run. No timeout yet.
I think you should just keep the offense out here. Too close to punt, too far for a field goal. Not going to try
really
a 52-yarder.
Second-year coach Jermaine Gonzalez of St. Mary's making the playoffs in his first season last year. A little bit underwhelming. Only 4-5 in the regular season. Of course, playing a gauntlet of a schedule. But St. Mary's not budging with those timeouts. The clock will run all the way down to 9 seconds. Coach Sasante will call his first timeout of the half.
Might as well just take a shot at the end zone. And if you get it in bounds, you still have 2 timeouts, call it, and run the field goal team out there.
And if this were last year, of course, you got your vertical threat in DJ Lee, about 6'4", but, you know, this is kind of an undersized, very speedy wide receiver room. Of course, we've seen Gash make plays. We saw McBride nearly haul in that pass along the sideline there. Kitchen. Well, I think this is a situation you can get some trips and send a ball to the end zone. This is, you know, one of the quarterback's, you know, big dreams is to throw a Hail Mary successfully, and looks like Bo Jackson's going to get the chance to do that.
We know he's got the arm to get it to the back of the end zone here, so that's not going to be an issue. Just got to see how St. Mary's plays this, if they're even going to allow anything deep. But if they line up 4 guys in the end zone, you're just trying to go get the first down and get some 3 more points out there. With 9 seconds, there's enough time.
It's very interesting. Sasante did not kick this all the way down to 2 or 3 seconds to take his
It might have been the play cut.
Obviously the play clock. McBride runs off. Kitchen is in the game, so they have their 3 receivers, Pyden, Kitchen, and then obviously Gash out there. Krieger is a lone back, and Sasante gets a look at the defense. Williams is going to play the safety here.
Interesting. It looked like the Shamrocks had 12 guys in the huddle there and then ran McBride off.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that was a mistake or if that was like maybe some form of trickery. I know in the NFL that's illegal.
So we await the 4th down and 13 snap. 9 seconds to play in the first half. And it's Catholic Central with a 9-7 lead. Same formation, trips, wide receiver set to the right. Jackson takes the snap. Pressure comes from the 5-man rush, throws short, and Pyden never had a chance at it, but Bryson Williams kind of handsy there, as we can get another look at that.
Yeah, I believe it would have been a pass interference if the ball was a little closer to him.
It's just not entirely catchable right there. I mean,
there definitely was contact before the ball arrived. Yeah, that looks like he tripped up.
It's kind of an underthrown ball there, and
so now let's see if Mary's just takes a knee or takes a shot downfield. You have a guy like Bryson Williams, might not be the worst idea.
Looks like Sasante is not even watching this play.
At least one more snap for Axel Newell. 6'4" junior, a transfer from OLSM, middle of Michigan, a Division VI school. Axel coming over to play football and hoops at St. Mary's.
And so they line up in the same wishbone that they've gone with all game, and Newell will take a knee. So special teams and defense has been the name of the game for the first half. Just 16 total points between these two CHSL traditionally historical powerhouses. Catholic Central leads Orchard Lake St. Mary's by a score of 9-7 at the break. 15-minute halftime. We're going to turn you over now to get a nice shot of the Catholic Central Marching Band. Don't go anywhere. 15 minutes. We'll be back for second half action. You're listening to the Shamrock Media Network.
and gentlemen, presenting under the direction of Mr. Logan Bonathan and led on the field by Senior Drum Major Robert Minnick and Junior Drum Major Andrew Arisman, the Catholic Central High School Shamrock Marching Band. Ladies and gentlemen, as the excitement on the field heats up, get ready for another thrilling performance by our marching band. Coming up is a show that features the unforgettable Journey hits, Don't Stop Believin', and Separate Ways.
Chart station. They will end up knocking the game. Blue lines also.
Here comes Hollywood after that.
Shamrock. Reaching up wide. 1.9 minutes to shake off.
All right, after a great presentation by the band at halftime, the dad of Jaden Pyded winning a car sponsorship from Varsity Lincoln, we are just a few moments away from the start of the second half, so we take a look at some scores around the area and in the league. Brother Rice trailing River Rouge at halftime, 12-10. The Panthers lead the Warriors. Down in Toledo, the Central Catholic Fighting Irish leading the Pilots of De La Salle 14-7 at the break. Up in Rochester, one of the teams that Mary's lost to back in week 1, Rochester Adams, they lead Oxford 6-0 at halftime. A storied rivalry downtown in Detroit between King and Cass. King leads the Technicians 7-0 midway through the second. Over in Canton, Northville leads the Chiefs 34-6. Brighton leading Novi 7-6 over at Novi. That's about all of the scores for around the area. Of course, Heartland beating Plymouth 16-14 at halftime as well. As just 2 minutes away from the start of the second half, Coach DeSante obviously showing some improvement in the second half. He made some notable adjustments, including kind of eliminating that Wildcat playbook. But, you know, what do you think Catholic Central has to do to preserve this lead and end up winning this football game?
Yeah, they were able to get the passing game going a little bit at the end of that half. But I'd like to see them open it up, and so I think there's got to be something with their rushing game, that they maybe a little bit of a concept switch, maybe rotate in some more of Almeida and Williams just to get some more of that speed element. But I mean, they have only 3.3 yards per carry. It's not going to cut it for them.
Yeah, Almeida has not played an offensive snap in this one after we saw him kind of man that third team duty week 1 and that third team duty again the previous 2 weeks, and he has just kind of fallen out of favor with this offensive coaching staff. And Cedric Williams kind of has emerged. He is the leading rusher for the Shamrocks. Just 3 carries, but 18 yards for Williams. And then on the flip side, St. Mary's. What did you like? What did you not like? What does St. Mary's need to change to get their first offensive points of the game? You know, really only 7 points and all coming on that Aiden Donovan block punt.
Yeah, let's start with the special teams. They've just played with more grit, more energy than Catholic Central's played on that. In that facet of the game, obviously the blocked punt, the blocked extra point, just saving points for your team. But that offense has got to get going. I think Newell's just got to be some more accurate, hitting guys in the numbers. He's been behind on a couple passes, low on a couple. He's got to make sure he's getting it into his guys, into his playmakers' hands, into Bryson Williams, to Jack Janda, to Duke Coates. You just got to get it to your playmakers, which they haven't been able to. And maybe with their running game, obviously, they've been rotating between a lot of guys. I think they just need to find 1 or 2 who they can consistently count on, because they haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Well, they kind of lean towards Darren Jones there at the end of the first half. He got the final 3 carries of the first half, and St. Mary's will get a chance to open the half with the football. They won the toss, they deferred to the second half, and this is exactly why. They get the chance to kind of swing the momentum in favor of the Eaglets. Axel Newell first half stat, 5 for 9 for the quarterback, 38 passing yards.
And if you're Coach Gonzalez, I think you're feeling pretty good about the position you're in. Your offense did not do much of anything, but you're only down by 2 points. You're getting the ball right now. And I think this is a great opportunity for this Eaglet team to just take the momentum in a game where Catholic Central's had all the opportunities to pull away and has not.
And of course, Bryson Williams has been absolutely limited. If there's one thing Catholic Central's defense has done an excellent job of tonight, of course you could say stopping the run or forcing the quick throws out of Newell, but Bryson Williams had 3 touchdowns last week against De La Salle, an additional 2 against St. John's Jesuit. He has 3 touches tonight for 11 yards, just 11 total yards. And I know St. Mary's only 71 total yards in the first half, but you know, it just completely changes the pace of the game when your best playmaker just can't get the ball.
And obviously, you know, St. Mary's is not going to stop trying to get him the ball. I mean, he's such an explosive player when he has the ball in his hand. So I think they're
moving him up here. So let's see if Catholic Central can pick up on this. So deep right now is Reese Hurst. They've kind of gone in like this diamond kick return formation, but that's Bryson Williams on the far sideline.
So looks like they're almost trying to trick the special teams of the Shamrocks into trying to kick it short, but getting it right into Williams' hands. Hopefully Metegan picks up on it and boots it deep.
And the Duke Coats alongside Hurst deep. Metegan boots it deep. I mean, just an excellent pickup, and this is not going to be returned. Patterson watches it bounce through the end zone for a touchback. And the second half is officially underway from the Elm. See if we can see an uptick in offensive production, take away that play from Jaden Pyden, the 56-yard touchdown, and both teams would be under 80 total yards of offense.
It's not a position you want to be in, but that's just what this rivalry is.
And first pass of the second half, Duke Coates is the beneficiary of Newell, and he picks up 6 yards on first down. That's another formation they've kind of gone to, very scarcely in this one. Kind of that 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver set. The twin tight end set lined up on the far side of the field. It's Savory and Janda. Williams in the slot with Zane Wilson at the bottom of the screen. Newell looks, throws short. It is caught by Savory. Bounces off 2 Shamrock defenders. And he picks up a first down.
And Savory has got a couple receptions for over 10 yards so far. Really been the only big plays for this team besides that one run from Jones.
And kind of just running that in route towards the middle of the field. Newell took a shot at the end of the play, but gets the completion, and Savory picks up a first down for the Eaglets. And the handoff on first down. Flag comes in. That's going to be holding. Clear as day. Looks like Nathaniel Barron.
Yeah,
going to get flagged for that.
Rogowski was in good position there and just was held back by the jersey, not allowed an opportunity to make the play. So it'll be 1st and 20 for St. Mary's.
And so that almost effectively negates the Jaden Savory 12-yard catch. And it looks like St. Mary's is going to start the second half with Darren Jones. So it looks like they've kind of settled into that running back that they want to kind of take on the role of the remainder of the game. Same with the 2 tight ends to his left and the 2 wide receivers to his right. Newell looking left. Pressure coming off the edge. Tries to force it. Janda attempts to make a one-handed grab, but Lee Krieger in coverage, and the pass falls incomplete.
Shamrock defense in a great position here, 2nd and 20. With a team that hasn't been able to move the ball so far, I think you want to be aggressive on this play, bring some pressure.
Newell looking, throwing long, pass is overthrown in the seam. That's Savory, the intended target again.
And Savory wasn't particularly open, but on the top of the screen, I believe it was Duke Coates who beat his man. Might have been a better target.
We haven't seen that wishbone 32 personnel yet in the second half for Mary's. Looks like they've gone kind of the conventional, as the first 4 plays of the second half for St. Mary's have been passes. Newell fakes to give, throws screen pass. Bryson Williams makes a man miss and is going to be tackled. Kyle Ewing making a important stop on 3rd down. And as soon as Williams has gotten the ball tonight, he has been swarmed by 3 or 4 defenders. Ewing with a great job on the stop there.
And they were definitely helped by the holding penalty, but it was a great stand by the Shamrocks on those last 3 plays, allowing really nothing.
And that 2-point margin might seem slim, but it actually is huge with Catholic Central touchdown, and if they can convert the extra point this time, they can grow that to a 2-score lead.
And we'll see if this ball is punted anywhere near Gash. He's given the opportunity to return it.
High punt. Gash has no choice but to call for the fair catch. And it's a punt of 31 yards. Lands at the Shamrock 40-yard line. And that's where Bo Jackson and company will take over. Jackson in the first half, 3 for 12, 81 yards, and a passing touchdown to Jaden Pyden. Of course, they kind of ran themselves off the field on that last drive of the first half. Kind of tried to generate some offense. Nice little screen pass to Krieger, but couldn't put any points on the board.
You can see from that one drive where they started with Wildcat.
Play action, McBride on the play action X slant, and that is going to work every time, and it'll move the chains. A first down, McBride on the catch, his first catch of the game.
But in the second quarter, they ran a drive where they had 2 Wildcats that netted 1 or 2 yards, and then Bo Jackson came on the field and wasn't able to convert on third. I don't think you've seen the Wildcat formation at all since then. Bo's looked more confident with each throw.
Yeah. Pyden out there, tight end, kind of with the 7 linemen. And Krieger gets the carry on first down, bounces off the initial tackle, and is able to pick up about 5 yards.
Yeah, and with the pass game clicking a little bit for Catholic Central, they're able to open up the run game. The old analogy was always the run sets up the pass, but if they're able to get the pass game working where St. Mary's isn't able to load the box with 7-8 guys, and there's going to be holes for Krieger, for Williams, for whoever's back there.
Yeah, you want to be able to depend on the run, so if that means you have to establish the pass first, that's what they'll do. And Jackson done a better job since starting this game, 0 for 6. McBride in motion. The give is to Krieger a second straight time, and Krieger just going to push his way forward. He gets very close to the first down. You know, I was talking to Cam Lloyd earlier today, and he said that, you know, halftime, if the game's too close for him, he's actually going to take his boot off and run out there and take the snaps himself, and he'll go run for 100 yards and give CC the win. Unfortunately, that is not the case.
I don't know how Coach DeSante would feel about that one.
And Cam donning the bucket hat on the sideline, not even dressed. Still with that boot on his left leg. Well, they don't give him the first down. Instead, it's Cedric Williams breaking off a big run to the right side. Williams has kind of been the bright spot in the Shamrock run game today. A pickup of nearly 10 yards.
A good tackle there by Darren Jones. We've seen break off 1 or 2 runs to prevent that from being even more from Williams.
They go quick. And really no strategy other than the audible is running the same play.
Yeah.
I mean, that snuffed out instantly. No gain on the play for Williams.
Yeah. So on the last play, it was Darren Jones who tracked down Williams and held that in from, could have been a touchdown. There was good blocking on the outside. And there he saw Jack Janda set the edge and not allow anything from Williams. It'll be 2nd and 10. Samson Gash, obviously 4 targets in the game, more than any Shamrock, but he still has not recorded a reception.
Going for that T. Higgins game. Jackson, low snap, looks Gash's way, throws the go ball, and the pass is incomplete. Nearly had an impressive catch, and that's Darren Jones, who has been the two-way player on both sides tonight. Gash had it in his hands, just couldn't come down with it.
We'll take a look at the replay. This isn't a great ball from Jackson, as there's no safety on that side of the field. Gash is going to be able to run under this ball, and Jackson just underthrows it a little bit, and Gash unable to adjust in time and bring it in.
That's really impressive coverage from Jones, who's kind of mixed between being in the front 7 and being in the secondary. You know, he's been a run stopper, but also an enforcer. Of course, there. It's a pitch play on 3rd and 10. Krieger is going to get nothing.
It's like the Eagles running a draw with Jalen Hurts on 3rd and 10.
A great tackle by Charles White. And just not really sure what that play was going to do.
Looks like they're going to try to keep the offense out here. It's
almost
almost like they were running that knowing they were going to go for it on 4th and trying to get some yards, but they went backwards.
That's a fair strategy. Halfway through this 3rd quarter, I mean, this game has been slow in terms of the stat sheet. Just very short plays, but just a very fast game. I mean, we're already burning through halfway through the 3rd quarter. Pyden in motion. Jackson in the shotgun. Takes the snap. Looking. stepping up in the pocket, throwing a deep ball. He's got Gash over the middle of the field, and it is incomplete. Knocked away by Duke Coates in the end zone.
And we said Gash is going to be a focus for the Shamrock team, and obviously the defensive coordinator for St. Mary's said the same thing. He has been blanketed there. The safety was watching him the whole time, and once Jackson stepped up and looked his way, just no room for Gash to try to make a play on that ball.
Chris DeTore helping from the far side to kind of double team that catch, make it contested. Excellent job by St. Mary's secondary. Samson Gash, 0 catches, 6 targets tonight. And now Bryson Williams on the jet sweep, and Stone Chaney rushing in behind. A low tackle as he's able to grab the legs of Williams and drag him down.
You don't usually see an edge rusher like Chaney who's behind the play. And, I mean, Chaney's not a huge guy. He's tall, but he's not a lot of weight. But that's really strong play by him to bring down a 6'2", 200-pound receiver from behind.
And now it's a keeper, Newell, thrown to the ground. Actually looks like that's Jabin Gonzalez checking into the game for the first time. That's the son of Jermaine, the head coach, a freshman quarterback, 6'2", 180 pounds.
Yeah, looking for a little bit of a change, obviously, as this offense has produced nothing when it comes to scoring. The lone touchdown, a result of a blocked field goal.
Newell holds an offer from Toledo as listed on his 24/7 profile. But they're going to go to the option, and this is almost a disaster, and it is. The ball's on the ground, and it's recovered by Zane Beydoun. For the moment, Catholic Central has it. Waiting for the official signal from the referee. Unless Gonzalez was able to grab it back.
It will be 4th down.
Oh, and Gonzalez, it looked like Beydoun fell straight on top of it.
Wasn't able to get there quickly.
Now, if you play NCAA Football 14, you know how frustrating the speed option can be, and this is almost as close as he gets to it. I mean, he would be doomed if he kept it. 8 to hit from Rogowski, and somehow Beydoun loses that. So the punt now from St. Mary's is a high punt. And Gash is interfered with, and that's going to be a 15-yard penalty for kick-catch interference.
If a flag was thrown.
If a flag was thrown.
Doesn't appear it was. Either way, Catholic Central starts with outstanding field position.
Thought I saw the flag come out. Maybe not.
And Shamrock starting here on the 44-yard line. You got to think you need points on this drive. There's been twice where they've gotten inside the 30 and haven't even gotten anything. Another time they're inside 5 and can't put it in the end zone. So you need at least 3 on this to extend it from a field goal game.
Maybe some inadvertent contact on the Gash fair catch, but it's a short punt, albeit halfway through the 3rd quarter. As there's Krieger on the first play of the drive, barreling forward, pushing through multiple defenders, and picking up a Catholic Central 1st down. Apologize, some difficulty with the clock and the possession arrow right now on the stream. Just be patient. 4:12 to play in this one.
By far Krieger's best run of the game. Will be a 1st down. Just great blocking from the O-line on that, especially the interior with Azuka, Wiersbicki, and Perry. Just pushing that St. Mary front backwards.
Jackson takes
Krieger,
the
big
snap.
hole.
Here's Krieger getting space. Krieger's gone. Nobody's going to get him. 31 yards to the house. Lee Krieger, touchdown, Catholic Central.
And that was a different O-line that had been playing the rest of this game. What a play there by Lee Krieger, and what a play by that Shamrock front 5.
Front 6, I mean, count Rogowski. He sets this initial block that seals the gap. Couple him with Azuka. Just that left side of the offensive line, just key in on that. I mean, that is fantastic running, and Krieger.
And you mentioned Rogowski being almost a 6th O lineman. He was a left tackle last year. He really is a 6th O lineman.
Fantastic blocking, and now Matigan on to attempt the extra point. And it is right on through. Catholic Central extends to their largest lead of the game. It's 16-7, a 9-point lead with 3:50 to play in the 3rd quarter. Lee Krieger up to 65 yards on the ground today, add 18 more through the air, and the rushing touchdown to give Catholic Central a 9-point lead.
And I mean, this rushing offense before that, under 100 yards, under 4 yards per carry, now up to 115 and 5 yards per tote in this one.
I really don't want to tackle a guy who looks like that.
Apologize for the technical difficulties with the score bug. We're currently working on it. The score as of now, 16-7 in the third quarter. 3:50 to play. Catholic Central to kick it deep. Bryson Williams has kind of lined up in every position on this kickoff return. He's lined up on the right side of the field this time. Tegan kicked it deep last time, but I have a feeling he'll be kicking it to the far side of the field. And he kicks it towards the center. It's Kamari Peterson on the return. And he shifts a tackle, breaks another one, and is swarmed. Like DeAndre Green in there on the initial hit. Of course, he had that interception week 1 versus Dearborn. And
Catholic Central as an athletic program knows something about winning state titles. Last year, a couple more years. Wrestling won its 6th state title in the last 8 years. Mitch Hancock's club rolled off another state championship. And then later on, hockey team did it again. Rinse, repeat for the Shamrocks on the ice. 4 straight division.
And Newell back out to start this drive at quarterback. There's Goike getting his first carry since the fumble in the first. Remember, his first carry was a fumble. Short gain on the play, only picks up 3.
So they tried to go to Gonzalez on that last possession, didn't really provide a spark, almost turned the ball over.
Here's a screen pass to Bryson Williams. Breaks a tackle, breaks another one. Williams finding speed, and oh, if he didn't run outside the boundaries there.
And that's really the first time we've seen in this game where he's had the ball in open field and been able to show off that speed. And that the sideline was the only reason he didn't score on that one.
Yeah, Williams, longest play of the game for him up until that point. He had just about 15 total yards on 5 touches, and that play goes for about 13. And now up the middle, Goike showing his speed. Accelerates straight through the A-gap up the middle and picks up 7 yards.
As you mentioned, Trey Goike didn't really get any carries after that fumble, but now it's the second of the possession, and that was a good one there. See if St. Mary's opts to stay with him.
Yeah, how about this distribution of carries as there's a deep ball. And he was burned. Rude was burned there.
The guy wide open down the sideline, and that's the second time he's missed someone deep.
And Angelo Chapman, the receiver there, just overthrown. Been a huge momentum swing there for St. Mary's. As I was saying before, how about the distribution of carries? 23 St. Mary's carries today for 8 different ball carriers as they give it on 3rd and short, and Goike is able to pick up the first down.
Almost looks like it was a mistake that they stopped giving him carries after that fumble. Showing some explosiveness they haven't really seen from any of their backs.
Almost disciplining him for that fumble, and then they've returned to giving him the ball here. Quick throw, Savory on the quick curl, sidesteps a tackler. Savory has been the most consistent receiver for Newell today as he is able to pick up 9 yards.
Their leading receiver with 36 yards.
Yeah, top 50 prospect when he was an 8th grader at Pioneer in his class. And a bad snap. Once again, we've seen this one before. Newell will fall on it all the way back at the St. Mary's 48-yard line. That is going to be a loss of 21 yards.
Let's take a look at the snap here. Almost looks like Newell just wasn't ready for it.
Just kind of Williams lining up in the backfield, and that is just that's costly. I mean, you go from second and 1 to third and 22,
and it's not the worst, snap in the world. That should have been caught by Newell.
Newell backs up here in the gun, throwing long over the middle of the field. There's nobody there, and he delivers a crushing blow. It's Stone Chaney in there in the face of Newell, and a promising Eaglet drive turns upside down as the punt team will be forced to come out on the field.
I don't know if that could have gone any worse after how effectively they'd been moving it before that point. Now they're going to go from looking to threaten and score and bring this back to a one-possession game to having to punt it right back to the Shamrocks. Got to be frustrating for Coach Gonzalez. Has not been able to get anything going. The run game and the pass game, just nothing has been consistent.
And so Gash back deep. See if they can kind of pave a way for him, but they've kind of kicked this ball high. Flags fly. Gash will let it bounce. And it'll bounce out of bounds at the CC 28-yard line as we await the flag on the field. Pretty good punt. We'll only give them 25-yard punt here, actually. It'll roll out of bounds at the 28. And
Shamrock bounce.
Is this something you can take after the kick, or looks like they're going to tack on the 5 after?
Must have been illegal formation or something, because they would have blown it dead for a false start. Legal motion, something.
It's a 16-7 game, but Catholic Central's defense is pitching a shutout. The only St. Mary's touchdown came on a block punt.
And so Jackson will return to the field.
St. Mary's defense just has to be gassed. I mean, they've been on the field for a long time in this one.
Jackson under center. It's a give to Krieger, and he's met at the line of scrimmage. Jack Chanda. Excuse me. Looks like it was Ryan Fresquiz. Those block numbers just light. It's so hard to see on the white uniforms.
Not a fan of the gray on white. Better than white on gray.
I'm going to give a shout out to one of our viewers watching at home. Father, one of the teachers here at Catholic Central, Grandpa Facione, wherever you are. Your tonight's shout out. Hope you're having a good night. As Bo Jackson, second down 11, low snap. He's able to.
Something was wrong on that one.
This is where you have false start everybody but the center. I mean, just everyone flustered there.
When it's everybody but the center, it usually means it is the center who was off on that one.
There's 21 seconds left to go in this third quarter. Apologize again for the technical difficulties.
See if the Shamrocks try to get one more play in. The clock ticks to 10 seconds in this third quarter.
Looks like CC motioning towards the sideline. They're not going to snap this. And so that'll do it. That's 3 quarters in the books. Catholic Central gets 7 more on the board, courtesy of a Lee Krieger 31-yard touchdown run. And as we head into the final quarter of the game, Catholic Central leading Orchard Lake St. Mary's 16-7. You're listening to the Shamrock Media Network. Samson. Yeah, Samson Gash getting looked at on the sideline currently. Like I mentioned, Samson Gash getting checked on the sideline during the break, and he's was getting looked at by the trainer. He's moved towards the field. He's not on the field for this snap. Catholic Central offense has a 2nd and 16 to work with. Fakes the give, screen pass, Pyden, open space, and tripped up. Christopher Cotes in on the stop.
If I'm not mistaken, that's the first Shamrock to have 2 catches in this game.
Yeah, that would be correct. That's Jaden Pyden's 2nd catch. Just 5 completions for Bo Jackson tonight. 5 of 16, 98 yards, and a passing touchdown to Jaden Pyden.
3rd and very long. Looks like Gash is back on the field. The top of the screen.
Up at the top.
It's a good sign. They're making Pyden go to the sideline.
Blood timeout. I mean, this isn't wrestling. Pretty physical game here.
It's only 10. Looks like.
And so Nathan Semp will check in for the first time tonight. Brother of one of the all-time Catholic Central wide receiver greats, Owen Semp, currently at Valparaiso Football.
Had a great catch in that Boys Bowl game.
Oh, yeah. Jackson finding Semp. Well contested over the middle of the field. Duke Coates. As we get another look at Coates here. Fantastic coverage over the middle of the field. Semp kind of this long slant route at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, he had him for a second. It was great coverage. A little bit of a tug on the jersey as he made a cut towards the middle of the field. But it'll be 4th down, and Ewing will punt once again.
This has been the area Catholic Central has struggled. Gave a big return to Coates earlier in the game, and then the block punt. And looks like Mary's sending the house here, and nearly blocked. Williams will call for the fair catch at the 34-yard line. It's a punt of just 31 yards for Kyle Ewing, a little bit under that season average, about 34, 35 yards. And St. Mary's with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Their previous drive, probably their best drive of the game. Of course, getting all the way down to the Catholic Central 30-yard line before a disastrous snap caused a loss of 22.
Yeah, killed that drive.
And a quick throw out to Coates. Coates sidesteps River Cheney, but forceful tackle, Pyden reinforcing along with Kyle Ewing. Coach Newell's kind of settled in as this game has gone on, been a lot more comfortable in those short throws.
Yeah, I agree. And Coates has made an impact on all three sides of the ball. He had a good punt return in that first quarter that set up a Mary drive that should have ended in a touchdown. They weren't able to get any points.
And he is upended instantly. They've been creative on how they've tried to get Williams involved, but this is a play I think is better ran if they flip the field. I mean, Williams running into the defenders instead of away from them. And here's the spread offense. They're going to line up far outside the numbers here. Newell takes the snap, looks and throws. He has Coates again and puts this on the right side. Excellent tackle made by Andrew Kitchen. And that's going to bring up third down and
second down.
Oh.
It gave Williams the first on the last one. But Kitchen hasn't had really much of an impact on offense this season. Came in senior, but he's been playing well on defense.
Newell on the RPO. Quick pass, Jack Janda, the big tight end, as his brother looks on from the sideline. And Newell just kind of trying to complete a string of quick passes here. Catholic Central trying to substitute here, keep some fresh guys on the field. Newell takes the snap, looking long, and Kale Rogowski is in the backfield for the first time tonight. Catholic Central with a sack. It's Rogowski coming hard off the edge here.
They haven't been applying a lot of pressure, but there have been a few plays where they've gotten close to bringing Newell down, and there Rogowski finishes the job. Take a quick look at it here. Just unblocked.
Yeah, Goike really unable to prevent that from happening. But he'll get the ball here on second down, tries to create some space. Running to the left, and Kitchen has kind of been that fill-in for Lloyd, who has missed time today. And Kitchen makes the tackle there, and now it's third down and long, and St. Mary's has continued to bite themselves with the negative plays. So 3rd and 15, Newell takes the snap, looking, throwing deep ball, and that pass is nearly caught. Williams unable to get it. It's Rude getting in there on the stop.
Yeah, Rude was running stride for stride with Williams there, and Pyden did a good job of coming from his center field position and just making it ever so harder for Williams to bring it in. He almost caught that one still.
It's just very telling of how hard it has been to get Williams the ball, as they're trying to force to him deep, and there's 4 guys on him. I mean, that's just really been the story of this game for Bryson Williams. 4 catches for 24 yards, 3 rushes for 3 yards, and he hasn't even gotten to return a punt yet.
Yeah, I'll admit, that was a really good throw from Newell, though. He put it right on the money. Just great coverage from the Shamrocks. Rude and Pyden made it very difficult.
And this one deep to Gash. He has not had a chance to return it, and slick fingers to catch it on the corner, on the edge of his fingertips. But he's able to make the catch, and now this is the drive that normally Catholic Central is able to dominate. This is the drive that takes away half of the remaining time, and normally you can push it into the end zone. But it has been a different story tonight. St. Mary's has definitely had the best defense that CC has come up against this year.
For sure. I mean, this is a Shamrock team that's averaging over 30 points a game. They've had trouble getting the 16 they have. It's really been 2 big plays that have provided that. Otherwise, they've been stifled. And you're going to try to run some clock.
Here's some Wildcat for you. Pyden direct snap, running right. Finding some running room, and pancaked by Charles White. And they're going to stick with the Wildcat here.
Not a bad decision when you're trying to kill the clock.
Gash is lined up out wide. And Krieger the back, so you can get some read option going in the backfield. And they do that. Pyden up the gut. He's got the first down. Very explosive, very agile, is able to kind of hit the holes very hard, and he's able to get the first down there.
That was a good run by Pyden. He's hitting the hole hard, bursting right through between the center and the guard, and gaining that first down. And that was something that this Shamrock Wildcat has not been able to do, is consistently gain 5 yards. That they did last year. They were pretty successful with that.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they can get back to that. It looks like they're going to stay in the formation for at least one more play.
I mean, this is key right here. I mean, a win's a win. I mean, this has been a pretty slow, boring game in terms of, statistics. Nothing really lighting up the score sheet tonight, but this is crucial for Catholic Central to control the clock, and it's like we have a timeout called by Coach Sassante, his first timeout of the second half. Catholic Central will regroup. 6:51 to play. Of course, Justin Sassante hoping to restore the great legacy of this Catholic Central team that was under Head coach Tom Mack coached nearly 40 years here. And on the other side, Jermaine Gonzalez trying to do that same thing at St. Mary's George Porritt did.
Couple legendary coaches, two of the best to do it definitely in this region, arguably in the state.
And then we get to welcome in 2 weekends from now for homecoming and Boys Bowl. We get to welcome Adam Korzanuski from Brother Rice, who was the second coach after legendary Al Fracassa coached over in Birmingham. Just a lot of storied coaching in the Catholic League.
They're going to stay in that Wildcat. Pyden in the shotgun, Krieger to his right. They are lining up 3 wide, so it kind of forces St. Mary's defense to spread out a little bit.
And Pyden will give to Krieger, and Krieger unable to find any running room.
I mean, when they see that, although they're putting a corner on each of the guys out wide, they're stuffing 8 guys in the box within 3 yards of the line of scrimmage. Just not a lot of running room. As you'll see Bo Jackson coming in for this next play.
Arnold was able to get the stop there.
And the bonds that form in this conference, whether you went to De La Salle, CC, St. Mary's, Brother Rice, and now all the Toledo schools that are joining the fun.
And so Bo checks back into the game after 3 runs. Krieger gets the carry here, and Krieger breaks a tackle up over midfield. Krieger just looking very explosive. It's been a completely different story in the second half. He is a little slow to get up here. Take a look at that run by Krieger.
Hope he's all right. Probably a touchdown saving tackle from Kamari Patterson in that safety position.
You put Bo back in there and you kind of confuse the defense. Think maybe they'll spread the field and throw it, and Krieger can't make it to the sideline. This is not what the Shamrock faithful want to see.
No.
He's holding that right knee. That's the last thing they need.
Especially with
And
Cam
that running
Lloyd
back
banged
room
up.
is just being thinned. Krieger missed a little bit of time earlier in the training camp with a neck injury. You see him donning that neck brace.
He was able to walk out under his own power. Let's hope he's all right.
A really tough kid. All-state wrestler last year.
Looks like Cedric Williams will be the featured back. Krieger out.
I like him. I think he's done a fine job tonight.
Actually, we didn't see him at all in that Dearborn game. It was more John Almeida as that third guy. We'll see how the sophomore Williams does.
You got to think they're going to keep the ball on the ground here. No reason really to stretch the field, especially leading by 2 scores. And the give is to Williams, and he is stopped in the backfield. Bryson Williams. He's had a pretty quiet game defensively, but he's able to make the stop on first down.
Yeah, just darting in from his safety position. Once he saw who was getting that ball and brought him down. The Shamrocks have already ticked down 3 minutes on this drive, but it's going to be 2nd and long.
Great clock management. Really running that play clock all the way down. Williams lines up 5 yards behind Jackson in the backfield. Pyden is the tight end. 6th lineman if you count Rogalski. McBride at the bottom, Kitchen at the top. And a give is to Williams. A little bit of a muffled exchange. Williams is able to inch forward and pick up 3 yards.
So this Catholic Central offense, Grant, with no Genrich at wide receiver, no Lloyd at running back, still in a bit of state of flux.
And it's 3rd down and 10 now. And if you're Coach Lasante, what are you going to draw up here? I mean,
I think you're just trying to milk the clock as much as you can. Maybe a screen pass or something underneath. But I wouldn't be trying to take a deep shot when in a 3-yard gain will still run another minute off the clock.
And they do drop back to pass. Screen pass, read like a book. That's White. Charles White gets in the way of Cedric Williams, and that's about the 3rd or 4th pass we've seen Bo kind of projecting that the defense has had a beeline read on and just unable to put 2 hands and take it the other way. I mean, that's a pick 6 if that's caught.
Yeah, trying to run a little slip screen, but the linemen were a little slow getting out there in front of Williams, and It's just read really well by White. He must have been thinking the same thing we were up here.
And so Kyle Ewing, after CC runs 4.5 minutes off the clock to kick it deep, and Williams doesn't even attempt to return it, and it trickles down and into the end zone for a touchback.
It's like, I'm surprised they didn't run more clock off before snapping that punt.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if maybe they're trying to catch
incomplete.
Williams off guard. Oh, yeah, you're right. It was an incomplete pass.
So St. Mary's, this is closing time right here. This is, you got to get it now or you're never going to get it. They need 2 scores. They have just 4 minutes.
Now it's going to be first and
was on the field talking to the refs. I think they're going to move both chains back, so we're going to have 1st and 10, but there was an unspecified penalty.
see if St. Mary's tries to mount a drive here. Under 4 to play.
Newell through the air, batted down instantly. Stone Chaney gets both hands up on the ball.
Yeah, hasn't gotten a sack yet, but he's played really well off the edge. A couple nice tackles for loss, especially on Bryson Williams on those jet sweeps, and there, just reading Newell's eyes, he was looking that right way the entire time.
And once again, that's the intended target, Williams, and they just can't seem to free him.
I mean, Newell, like, was trying to sell the read option, but he was staring down Williams the entire time, and great job by Chaney for seeing that.
Quick pass. Duke Coates, the receptionist here, and he breaks a few tackles. Coates stumbling forward, and Coates is still on his feet all the way past the 40-yard line to the 43.
And we have an injured Eaglet here. Does not look good.
Injured Eaglet on the field. Coates is.
That was the most explosive play of the game for St. Mary's there.
That's Chapman. He was targeted once earlier in this one on a deep ball. Duke Coates, the leading receiver for Mary, is also tied for the team lead in receptions with 4 catches, 48 receiving yards. And so Chapman is able to get up and off the field. Good sign for him and the Eaglet faithful.
On that last play, obviously we saw Coates break one, and he got into some open field, but great job by Danilo Gubernic to track him down all the way from his D tackle position and making the tackle 25 yards downfield.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of guys in that position hustle all the way to the end of the whistle.
Yeah, full group of athletes on that line. And the clock will run. 3:40 to play in this 4th quarter. 4 receivers for Newell. Quick throw. This has been his favorite pass is Coates, and he speeds out of bounds. Pushing just past that chain to pick up a 1st down. It's a pickup of 10, and Coates has kind of found a soft spot in this zone defense. Looking at a mismatch at the bottom of the screen. You got 6'6" Jaden Savory on Austin Kersey. It's a very physical matchup if Newell can get the ball to him, and Savory can go up and get it. And they give it to Goike instead. Goike looked much better in the 2nd half, obviously only getting that 1 carry in the 1st. And he picks up 6 on 1st down.
He's had a few, 3 or 4 runs like that where he's gotten a good chunk of 6 or 7. That's really all you can ask for out of a running back.
And again, Goike pushing forward and picking up 10 yards. Richard III, or as they like to call him, Trey.
Now obviously this has been the point where in the St. Mary's drive where they just haven't been able to advance the ball anymore. So we'll see if they're able to change it on this one.
Newell looking, deep shot for the end zone, overthrown I mean, take a look at some of the crucial plays that were earlier in this game. One of them you'd have to say is Zane Wilson, unable to get that foot down on that touchdown, that end zone target, and
fourth down.
Yeah, St. Mary's doesn't come away with any points there.
Yeah, and on that one, it looks like just him and Newell just weren't on the same page. It looks like he was kind of stopping once he got to the 10 and then realized that the ball was coming his way and had to hustle and just wasn't able to get under that ball.
And so Newell looking short and throwing. Pass is caught. Aiden Donovan, the tight end, two-way player and multi-sport athlete, is Donovan on a full-ride scholarship to Michigan State baseball team. Was part of the 1-2 punch St. Mary's had last year. Him and Anthony Pacey, both pitchers around 90 miles an hour, as Newell drops back in and the pass is batted at the line of scrimmage. It's Kale Rogowski.
Yeah, he's the other defensive end for the Shamrocks, and he's had a great game tonight. He had the sack earlier, a tackle for loss or two, and there the pass breakup. He's got a big frame, 6'4". Off the edge, he's able to get his hands up and knock that one down.
And this is it for St. Mary's. 2:27 to play, 4th down and 2. Newell in the gun. Give is to Goik, and he did not get there. Stone Chaney in the backfield to seal the deal.
An exclamation point on this game. Looks like the Shamrocks are going to move to 3-1, 2-1 in Catholic League. And great effort by this defense.
This is going to go down as a defensive shutout for Catholic Central. The 7 points for St. Mary's coming off a special teams touchdown. The defense really just playing a perfect game tonight. They limit Bryson Williams to just 27 total yards after he had that 27 yards times 3 on just one play last week against De La Salle. And they hold St. Mary's to just 67 ground yards on 30 carries, just 2.2 yards per rush.
It's really impressive from the safeties down to the D-line. Played extremely well on that side of the ball.
And not so fast. And so they'll move them back 5. The false starts has been kind of an issue here for Catholic Central.
St. Mary's, really, they were killed in this game by their 4 fumbles. Not all of them were recovered by the Shamrocks, but I mean, there was the one that was a 22-yard loss, the other one on 4th down, or on 3rd down. Just killing drives when you fumble and lose yards like that.
Cedric Williams is met forcefully in the backfield. Charles White gets the tackle for loss.
He's been a bright spot for this team. Obviously, he almost had the pick on that last drive.
Of course, it's not over yet, as St. Mary's does have 3 timeouts. So with CC moving in the wrong direction, 2nd down and 17, St. Mary's will call their first timeout.
See, I'm assuming Shamrocks aren't going to try to get Krieger out there again. Wouldn't make a lot of sense to try to force him in there. So you're going to see some Cedric Williams, who hasn't gotten a lot of carries this year. He's looked explosive on a few. We'll see how he plays in this high leverage situation.
Yeah, 8 carries on the day for Williams, 26 yards. He has really been that second back. Biden, 7 carries for 28 yards. He's kind of had most of his role as the Wildcat, and Jackson is going to go to the sideline now, and they're going to let this Wildcat take over. Wildcat, Pyden the quarterback. It's Cedric Williams next to him, and the give is to Williams. Williams shifts off a defender and is brought down by Darren Jones.
Saw there was one corner out wide with Nico McBride, but there were 10 Eaglets in the box on that play, and you can't really run on 10 guys in the box.
St. Mary's really doing everything they can to get the ball back here.
And now here's the always a tough question is, do you run the ball knowing it'll definitely burn that last time out, but you're not going to get the first down? Or do you try to throw it where an incompletion will leave St. Mary's with the timeout and the ball?
think the most important thing is you get St. Mary's last time out burned here. So if you have to throw a short pass, it's not going to be a pass. Bo Jackson's on the sidelines.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Pyden was a freshman quarterback a couple years ago, but I don't think we've seen him throw out of this Wildcat formation over the last 2 seasons.
He's looking at his receivers. He's going to keep it. Quarterback power, Pyden unable to escape. Darren Jones got to be up close to 10, 15 tackles tonight on the stop, and St. Mary's burning their final timeout. And perhaps Bryson Williams can generate some output here and maybe show his explosiveness on his punt return.
This got to be tough on the defense, especially the way they've played, and they're just having to go right back out there again.
Yeah, really. So St. Mary's offense not done yet. Getting a look there at Cam Lloyd, of course. In the boot with the ankle fracture. He played through it last week against St. Francis de Sales, including a touchdown.
Sitting next to Krieger there. Hopefully they'll have both of them back healthy next week. We'll see.
Yeah.
Williams standing there around the 50-yard line.
Let's see if Ewing can get this off. Man, St. Mary's making it close. Williams is going to catch this on the run in stride, and he is going to push upfield. Maybe turn the wrong way. I mean, he had the open side of the field, but obviously hard to get going. Williams makes a good move and picks up about 8 on the return.
Yeah, pretty impressive punt there from Ewing. Was able to get Williams moving backwards, and that really just killed any momentum he could have had on the return.
And it's a game-long punt for Ewing, 40 yards for the night. He's been busy. And so Newell, one more try here to get St. Mary's an offensive score, 16-28, 146. And he throws short here on the out route. And the clock will run. Catch is made here by Bryce Jadzek.
Second and down, Newell going quick.
Newell takes the snap. Rolling, throwing, and again to Jadzik. Catch is made, and it's a first down. So Jadzik, no targets up until this point, and he picks up back-to-back catches. 90 seconds for the Eaglets, and they're in a Catholic Central territory at the 45.
I believe they have a stopped clock, but they're still going to go hurry up here.
And that might just be too fast, as looks like some pre-snap movement. Not everyone was set.
I don't understand the rush there. I mean, the clock was stopped. He was tackled out of bounds. Not running. So that's going to be a loss of 5 yards that really shouldn't have happened.
And, you know, St. Mary's really killed themselves with the negative plays tonight. They get some momentum going, and then they're unable to do it because of negative plays. Speaking of negative plays, keep the streak alive. Stone Chaney has another sack. It's his 4th straight game with a sack.
And really the entire Shamrock line got there.
Oh yeah, well, they give him a half sack or a full sack, remains to be seen, but Chaney, I mean, just excellent. The clock will run. And Newell, pressured, throwing long. Got Coates, and it was nearly intercepted by River Chaney. Jaden Pyden also helping in coverage, and this has been Mary's biggest. Oh boy, Chaney shaking up. He got hit hard in the back at the end of that play.
Yeah, Pyden kind of collided with him while Chaney was in the air.
Let's get another look at that last play.
Football player at Catholic Central.
And Chaney is maybe cramping. Looks like they're working on that leg.
River, an awesome athlete.
Cheney's really had to step up. The starting cornerbacks this year was Genrich, Kitchen, and Rude, and kind of shifted once Genrich got injured. Kitchen moved to safety. You see Cheney with the sword celebration as he gingerly walks off the field. And this is going to be the last 2 offensive plays if Mary's can't get a first down.
Shamrock's playing some soft coverage on the outside. He's keeping everything underneath here on 3rd and 20.
And they're going to bring the house. Goike gets the handoff. Goike up the middle. Goike finding space down the sideline. A miracle. Goike is in. On 3rd and 20, he goes 55 yards to the house for an Eaglets touchdown.
Looking like some 2010 Steelers there, running halfback draw in every single 3rd and long. Works out there for Goike. And all of a sudden, we got a ball game.
We got a ball game indeed. The Shamrock defense that had held St. Mary's to under 2 yards a carry gives up their longest run of the night. Goike just finding space and getting all the way down the sideline. And a crucial extra point here for Carrick. This would make it a 2-point game. And, of course, the hardest part is the onside kick. The extra point is up and good.
I'm not sure. I know in the NFL you're not allowed to load the sides on the onside kick anymore. It has to be 5 on each side of the kicker. Not sure if that rules in high school. You might have been able to put 8, 9 guys on that side.
Yeah, I think we did see an onside kick maybe a few years ago here. I can't remember which game it was. I think it might have been. What game? It was 2 years ago.
This is turning into a little bit of a nightmare for the Shamrocks. This game was over. This game was over. And 3 and out on one side, had to punt it away. And on 3rd and 20, no timeouts, run a halfback draw the middle of the field, and Goike takes it to the house.
I mean, it was the perfect anecdote to the blitz. I mean, you had 6 or 7 guys rushing off the edges, and then they run it straight up the middle, and there's nobody in there. And Goike with some great field vision there. And he's up to 9 carries tonight, 87 yards and a touchdown. He makes up for that fumble he had earlier in the game that gave CC 3 points and picks up 6 of his own. Got to get the hands team out here. Gash really didn't play a whole lot of snaps on the last 2 drives. But probably will be out there, I would imagine, here. What the heck?
So only 1 timeout for the Shamrocks now.
Says a lot about St. Mary's, says a lot about Catholic Central. 2 well-coached teams.
16-14.
We were talking about the defensive performance. No points allowed on that side, and on a 3rd and 20. That reminded me of Rashad Penny against the Lions last year when they played at Ford Field, and he took it 35 yards on 3rd and 17 or something.
So the onside kick that will settle the game. Carrick, it is recovered by Catholic Central. High bounce, and I think St. Mary's had the first touch on it as we get an instant look, and Catholic Central recovers the onside kick. Kitchen is the man that saves the day, and Catholic Central moves to 3-1 on this new season.
That was dangerous for a second. That was a good kick there. Bounced right.
Perfect.
That's exactly what you want to do. Is you want it to bounce right as it hits
10.
that 10-yard line. But St. Mary's had a shot at that, but Kitchen able to wrap it up and get down and not, whenever it's in a pile, they're trying to take the ball from you, claim possession. Good job by Kitchen to hold on to it. And one knee should do it here.
Kitchen historically has had his best performances against St. Mary's. Sophomore year, obviously sealing a game with a pick 6. Junior year, he put them away with a receiving touchdown. And senior year, he does it by recovering an onside kick. That's going to do it from the Elm as the final seconds will run off. Bo Jackson taking the final snap and kneel down And Coach Sasante survives in the closest game he's had to coach thus far in his inaugural tour here at Catholic Central, beating Jermaine Gonzalez and the St. Mary's Eaglets 16-14 at the Elm. Catholic Central led by Lee Krieger and Jaden Pyden's long touchdown runs and a stout defense. And that will do it from the Elm. Up here in the booth, Josh Rothard alongside partner Lucas Drache. Hayden Saka on stream, Gage Phillip on cam downstairs. Upstairs, slew of cameramen training for the Shamrock Media team, Francis Toma on stats. And for all of you joining us at home, we want to thank you for joining us for Catholic Central football, a presentation of the Shamrock Media team. Next week, Catholic Central will travel to Tom Adams Field and take on the Pilots of De La Salle at Wayne State. But the week after that, join us for homecoming game, Boys Bowl, CC taking on their rival Brother Rice in an instant classic. We'll catch you then. Have a good night, everyone, and drive safe. You listen to Shamrock Media Network.